Think about this for a moment. When water flows everywhere without boundaries, people take it for granted. But when the same water is preserved in a vessel, it is valued, respected, and protected. My friends, many of us are living like that flowing water. Too available, too accessible, too easy to reach, and as a result, we are not valued the way we deserve. Today, let us reflect on why stopping this habit of being too available is essential for our dignity, self-worth, and spiritual growth in life. Every relationship, every bond, and every interaction requires balance. When we overgive our time, attention, and presence, people stop appreciating us. The truth is, the more you are always available to everyone, the more they start treating you as ordinary. But when you preserve your energy, align yourself with God's purpose, and create healthy boundaries, you radiate respect, dignity, and true value. Today, I want to share with you 7 important reflections on why you must stop being too available, not to push people away, but to protect your self-worth and to honor the precious time that God has given you. Imagine for a moment that someone gave you a gold coin every single morning. They told you, this is for today, use it wisely, because tomorrow you'll get another one. You would probably hold it carefully, wouldn't you? You would not leave it lying around where anyone could misuse it. You would think twice before giving it away. Now think about this. Time is more precious than gold, yet many of us treat it as if it has no value at all. We give it away to anyone, at any time, without even asking ourselves, is this the right way to spend it? Your time is not ordinary, it is sacred. It is not just hours and minutes passing by. It is life itself slipping through your fingers. Every morning when you wake up, God has deposited a fresh treasure of time into your account. 24 hours. You cannot store it, you cannot borrow from tomorrow, and you cannot replay yesterday. Once it is gone forever. And yet, how casually do we say, sure, I'll do it, I'll be there, I'll give you my time, without asking if that truly honors the gift we've been given. Let me share a simple daily life example. Think of the times you sat with your phone in your hand, scrolling endlessly, watching videos or reading things that did not really matter. Hours pass, and when you look up, the sun has set. Now imagine if in that same time you had invested in learning a new skill, spending quality moments with your family, or connecting with God in silence. The difference would be enormous. But because we undervalue our time, we let others and distractions control it. Many people keep themselves too available, thinking it will make them loved or appreciated. But in reality, it does the opposite. When you give your time too easily, others stop respecting it. Think about it when a person knows that no matter when they call, you will pick up immediately. No matter when they ask, you will drop everything to be there. They slowly begin to take you for granted. Not because they are bad people, but because human nature is such, we stop respecting what is always at our feet. Have you noticed how we value rare things? A diamond is precious because it is not found everywhere. A drop of clean water in the desert is priceless because it is scarce. In the same way, when you value your time as sacred, others begin to value it too. But when you scatter it everywhere, like grains of sand, people step on it without even realizing. One young man once told me, I don't understand why people don't respect me. I'm always there for everyone. I never say no. I make time for every single person who needs me. I asked him a simple question. Do you respect your own time? He paused, and after a long silence he said, no. That was his answer. Because if you don't honor your own time, no one else will. Respect starts from within. Valuing your time doesn't mean being selfish. It means being conscious. It means asking yourself, is this where my energy belongs? Is this how God wants me to use this moment? Sometimes it means saying no to unnecessary social gatherings, to gossip, to endless favors that drain you. And sometimes it means saying yes to solitude, to growth, to service that actually uplifts your soul. Look at nature. Even the sun has a schedule. It rises, it shines, and then it sets. It doesn't make itself available at midnight just because someone says, I want sunshine right now. It knows its value and keeps its rhythm. When you too honor the rhythm of your life, people adjust. They know when you will shine and when you will rest. They learn to respect you the way we all respect the cycle of day and night. When you protect your time, you also protect your peace. Think of the times you said yes when your heart wanted to say no. You ended up drained, frustrated, and sometimes even resentful. Why? Because you violated your own boundary. You treated your time as cheap, and in doing so, you hurt yourself. But when you stand firm and treat your time as sacred, you not only guard your energy, you also teach others a silent lesson that your life is not to be wasted. So, my friends, remember this: every tick of the clock is not just a sound, it is your life moving forward. If you waste your time, you are wasting your life. When you honor your time, you honor the divine gift you were blessed with. Value it, protect it, and invest it where it truly matters. Let your time be like a sacred temple. Not everyone should have free access, only those who respect and cherish it. And the more you live this way, the more you will see a transformation in how others treat you. They will think twice before calling you for something unimportant. They will appreciate your presence more when you do give it. And most importantly, you will begin to live with a sense of dignity and purpose, knowing that every day of your life was honored as sacred. Have you ever noticed how people treat what is rare compared to what is common? Diamonds are nothing but carbon, the same element found in charcoal. Yet, because diamonds are rare, people treasure them, lock them up in safes, and pay fortunes to own them. But charcoal, you can find it anywhere, and it has little to no value. The same principle applies to us as human beings. When you make yourself too easily available, too common, too present in every situation, people start to treat you like charcoal. But when you create healthy distance, when you preserve your time and presence like a diamond, people begin to see your worth. Scarcity creates value. This is not arrogance, this is wisdom. It is about recognizing that your presence is a gift, not something to be thrown around casually. Think of your favorite dish. Imagine if you ate it every single day, morning, noon, and night. After a while, it would lose its charm. You might even get tired of it. But when you have it occasionally, when it is reserved for a special moment, the taste feels extraordinary. That is what scarcity does. It creates appreciation. Let me give you a very simple everyday example. Think about the people in your life who are always calling you, always texting you, always showing up without notice. In the beginning, you might feel happy. You might think, wow, they really like my company. But over time, that constant presence becomes heavy. You begin to feel suffocated. You stop appreciating it. Why? Because it has lost its rarity. On the other hand, there may be a person who doesn't meet you often, but when they do, their presence feels refreshing. You look forward to it. You treasure those moments. That is the power of scarcity. Many of us make the mistake of thinking, if I am always there, people will love me more. But the truth is, love doesn't grow from excess availability. It grows from value. When you step back, when you give space, when you make your presence special rather than ordinary, people begin to wait for you, to long for your time, to value your presence. Even in nature, the most precious things are not easily available. Gold is not lying on the roadside. Fresh spring water is not flowing everywhere. The most nourishing fruits have their seasons. If everything was available all the time, nothing would feel special. Scarcity is not a weakness. It is the secret ingredient that creates value. Think of festivals or special occasions. Why do we feel so much excitement during those days? It is because they are not happening daily. If every day was a festival, soon no day would feel festive at all. The gap, the scarcity, makes the event feel magical. In the same way, when you are not constantly available to everyone, your presence becomes like that festival, something to look forward to, something to be cherished. Let me share a story. There was a young woman who always said yes to her friends. If someone wanted to go shopping, she went. If someone wanted to gossip late at night, she stayed awake. If someone wanted a favor, she was the first to run and help. But after a while, she realized something painful. Her friends stopped thanking her. They stopped seeing her efforts. They even started calling her only when they needed something, not when they wanted to truly spend quality time. One day she asked herself, "Why do they treat me like this?" And the answer came quietly, because she had made herself too available. When she decided to step back, to politely say no, to make herself less accessible, something interesting happened. Suddenly, her friends noticed her absence. They began to miss her. They started valuing the time she did give them. They realized her presence was not guaranteed, and that made it special again. Her value was restored not because she changed who she was, but because she changed how available she made herself. Scarcity doesn't mean neglecting people. It doesn't mean becoming distant and cold. It means being mindful. It means offering yourself in such a way that your presence has impact. Just like a wise speaker doesn't talk endlessly, but chooses words carefully, you too should choose where, when, and to whom you give your time. Ask yourself this: if your phone battery was at 5%, would you waste it on useless scrolling, or would you save it for the important call you know is coming? Our time and presence are like that battery, limited and precious. If you pour it everywhere, on everyone, at every moment, it loses value. But if you reserve it, if you give it thoughtfully, it becomes priceless. So remember, you are like a jewel, not a roadside stone. You are like fresh spring water in a desert, not tap water that flows endlessly without thought. Make your presence scarce enough to be valued, but not so scarce that it becomes forgotten. Strike that balance, and you will see how people begin to appreciate you more deeply. When you are less available, your yes carries power. Your presence carries weight. Your time becomes meaningful. And most importantly, you begin to live with dignity, knowing that you are not cheapened by overexposure, but elevated by the sacred principle of scarcity. Scarcity creates value. Value yourself enough to not give yourself away too easily. Make your presence a blessing that people wait for, cherish, and respect. There is a common misunderstanding in life. Many people believe that saying yes to everyone, being available at all times, and allowing others to enter their life without limits will make them more loved. But in reality, it often does the opposite. When we have no boundaries, when we allow people to cross every line without question, we don't gain more love. We lose respect. Boundaries are not walls, boundaries are doors. A wall shuts everyone out. A door, however, allows the right people in at the right time, while keeping harmful energy away. That is the beauty of boundaries. When you learn to set them, you are not pushing people away, you are teaching them how to treat you. And when people see that you respect yourself enough to have boundaries, they begin to respect you more. Let me give you a simple daily life example. Imagine you bought a brand new car. It shines, it smells fresh, and it is one of your most prized possessions. Would you hand the keys to just anyone? Would you allow strangers to use it whenever they felt like it? Of course not. You would be careful because you know its value. Now think about this: isn't your time, your energy, your peace of mind, your life itself far more valuable than a car? And yet, how many of us allow others to use our energy freely, without limits, as if it has no worth? Boundaries teach others how to handle us. If you always pick up calls at midnight, people will think it's fine to disturb your sleep. If you always agree to do extra work without question, colleagues will think it's normal to dump tasks on you. If you never say no to unreasonable requests, people will assume your life exists to fulfill their needs. You don't need to be rude, but you do need to be clear. This is acceptable. That is not. That clarity is the foundation of respect. Think about parents and children. When a parent sets boundaries, such as bedtime, study hours, or respectful behavior, the child may not always like it, but deep down, those boundaries create structure, safety, and eventually respect. If a parent says yes to everything, the child doesn't grow disciplined, they grow careless. In the same way, when you set boundaries in your relationships, you create an environment where respect grows naturally. Let me share a story of a young man who worked in an office. He wanted to be liked, so he always said yes to extra work. Whenever a colleague asked for help, he stayed late. Whenever his boss needed something, he sacrificed his weekends. At first, people praised him, but slowly they stopped thanking him. They assumed he would always do the extra work. One day, when he couldn't complete a task on time, instead of receiving understanding, he was blamed. Why? Because without boundaries, he had trained everyone to believe his time was endless and his limits were non-existent. Later, when he learned to say, "I can help you, but I cannot do all of this alone," or "I can stay late sometimes, but not every day," something surprising happened. At first, people resisted. But over time, they began to respect him more. His colleagues realized his time was not to be abused, his energy not to be drained. Boundaries restored the respect that endless availability had taken away. Boundaries are also spiritual. Think of nature. Even the mighty ocean has a boundary where it stops and the shore begins. The sun rises and sets according to its boundaries. The seasons follow their boundaries, each taking its turn. Without boundaries, there would be chaos. The same is true in life. When you don't define your limits, you invite chaos into your heart, your relationships, and your mind. Some people fear that boundaries will make them look selfish. But selfishness is when you only think of yourself and ignore others completely. Boundaries, on the other hand, protect your well-being while allowing you to still serve, love, and support others, but in a balanced way. Imagine pouring water from a jug into many cups. If you keep pouring without stopping, eventually the jug will be empty. Boundaries ensure that you refill yourself before you pour again. That way, you can continue giving without destroying yourself in the process. In daily life, boundaries might look like this: deciding that after a certain time at night, you will not answer work calls, choosing not to engage in gossip, even when invited, saying politely but firmly, "I'm sorry, I cannot do this right now." These may seem small, but they are powerful. Each time you set a boundary, you are sending a message: my life has value. My time is precious. My peace matters. And people cannot ignore that. The truth is, when you live without boundaries, you give people permission to disrespect you. But when you live with boundaries, you inspire others to respect not only you but also themselves. Because when they see you honoring your own limits, they start to reflect on theirs as well. So, my friends, remember, this respect is not demanded, it is cultivated. And boundaries are the soil in which that respect grows. If you want people to treat you with dignity, start by treating yourself with dignity. If you want people to value your presence, show them that you value your own time. Boundaries are not barriers, they are bridges to healthier, stronger, and more respectful relationships. And once you learn to set them, you will notice a powerful change. You will no longer feel drained. You will no longer feel used. Instead, you will feel balanced, peaceful, and respected, because you finally taught the world what you should have taught them all along, that you are not here to be walked on. You are here to be honored. Every morning when you wake up, you are given a certain amount of energy, just like a phone battery that starts the day at 100%. That energy is what fuels your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, and your ability to serve others. But here's the truth: your energy is not unlimited. Just like your phone battery drains when you open too many apps, your mind and body also drain when you open yourself to too many people, too many demands, and too many distractions. That is why protecting your energy is not selfish. It is survival, it is wisdom, it is honoring the gift of life. Let me give you a simple daily life example. Imagine you start the day fully charged. You go to work, and one colleague complains endlessly, 20% of your battery gone. Then someone pulls you into gossip, another 10% drained. By lunchtime, you're already at 50%, not because of meaningful work, but because of the energy vampires you allowed to plug into your battery. By evening, when your family or your personal growth truly needs you, you are left with almost nothing. Isn't that how many of us live? We waste our precious energy on things that do not matter, and when it is time to invest in what really does, we are already exhausted. Energy must be guarded like treasure. You would never leave your wallet open in a crowded street, would you? Yet so many of us leave our energy unguarded, letting anyone and anything take from it freely. A negative conversation, an unnecessary argument, endless scrolling on a phone. These are like small leaks in your battery. And when you add them up, by the end of the day, you are completely drained and you wonder, why am I always tired? Why am I always low? The answer is simple: because you did not protect your energy. There was once a young student who wanted to succeed in his studies. Every morning he made a list of what he would do, but instead of focusing, he would spend hours chatting with friends, playing games, and wasting time. By the evening, when he sat down to study, his mind was tired, his focus gone. He had energy for distractions, but none left for his dreams. When his mentor saw this, he told him, "Your energy is like a candle. If you keep letting it burn in the wrong places, by the time you really need it, it will already be gone." That day, the student understood that success doesn't only require intelligence, it requires the wise use of energy. Think about athletes. They don't spend all their energy before the race. They rest, they preserve, they prepare, so that at the crucial moment they can give their best. In the same way, you need to choose carefully where your energy goes. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every invitation is worth accepting. Not every person deserves a seat at your table of energy. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing they can endlessly give. I'll handle it. I'll be there. I'll do it. But just like a candle that keeps burning without pause will eventually melt away, so too will you. Protecting your energy means understanding your limits. It means learning to say, I would love to help, but I cannot do this right now. It means being wise enough to save your best self for the things that truly matter. Your purpose, your family, your inner peace, and your connection with God. Nature teaches us this lesson beautifully. Even the strongest tree sheds its leaves in autumn. Why? To preserve its energy for survival, so that in spring it can bloom again. If the tree stubbornly held on to every leaf, it would not survive the winter. In the same way, sometimes you need to let go of unnecessary tasks, unnecessary relationships, unnecessary burdens, so that you can preserve your energy for your true growth. Another important thing to remember is that your energy is contagious. When you are drained, you spread negativity. When you are vibrant, you uplift others. That is why it is not selfish to protect your energy. It is actually generous. Because when you are strong, healthy, and peaceful, you have much more to give to others. You cannot pour from an empty cup, but when your cup is full, your overflow becomes a blessing to everyone around you. Let me share another example. A woman I once met said she was always exhausted. She worked all day, cared for her family, and never said no to anyone's requests. People praised her, but deep down, she felt empty. She told me, I feel like a candle that is burning from both ends. I said to her, do you know what happens to a candle that burns from both ends? It finishes twice as fast. She smiled sadly and said, that's exactly how I feel. Only when she learned to protect her energy, to rest without guilt, to say no when needed, did her life transform. She became not only more peaceful, but also more effective, because her energy was being used where it truly mattered. So, my friends, ask yourself every day, where is my energy going? Am I giving it to distractions, or am I investing it in my purpose? Am I letting others drain me, or am I guarding my inner battery? The truth is, you cannot be everywhere, you cannot do everything, and you cannot please everyone. But you can choose wisely. You can preserve your energy for the people, the goals, and the values that truly deserve it. Remember this, your energy is limited, but when you protect it, it becomes powerful. It allows you to live with balance, to serve with joy, and to walk your path with strength. Guard it, preserve it, and use it with wisdom, because once it is gone, you cannot get it back.